Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to go over my first impression on First Man Cha. I already uploaded a post here on YouTube with my first impression. We're going to use that as a base and I will expand on top of it in this video. I will start with an overview of this guy. Cha was released for some reason as a yellow ranged unit. Yellow was not too much of a surprise. I was still hoping for him to be red. But yellow was still okay. I will say that yellow is stacked enough that they didn't need him. Red, on the other hand, would have liked a unit with this kind of kit. But it is what it is. We got him yellow, so that's it. I hope they just chill a bit with yellow units from now on, unless they want to release XSR plus Evan and Irang, in which case I would be obviously happy about it. But okay, other than those, I hope they just chill with that and start releasing some more red and green. In terms of the role that I give to him, ranged is weird. Like having someone that only throw punches being ranged feels a bit off, but I guess it can work with whatever animations they gave him, so it's okay, I guess. Now, in terms of his performance, I was really happy about how he performed at 0 dupes. His damage at 0 dupes and 3 red is almost identical. He's obviously stronger 3 red, but the scaling of the skills is not that much better. I will say I notice more the 60 attack speed that you get from Revolution than the scaling on the actual skills. Obviously, at 0 dupes, it will need a lot more health to stay alive and to deal damage compared to Rainbow 5. It's basically the same as 3 red. So if you have to go for this guy, you can stop at 0 dupes, or you can go for 3 green so that you can also get the extra data tower shards for the data tower. I wouldn't go to 3 red. Like the only reason to go higher than 3 green is if you want to max him out. Otherwise, you can easily stop earlier. The value it provides, other than the damage I just mentioned, is the energy decrease it has on the passive. That does not scale with levels, so it would be the same at 0 dupes and at 3 red. So that's massive. It is really good. Obviously, it's going to spam it more as you have investment, like with attack speed, it's going to proc it more. With the cooldown reset that he has from Revolution upgrade, it's gonna spam it more, but it's still the same number. It's just spammed more frequently with lower, like with higher dupes. And the other thing I wanted to mention that I added here in the post is that there is a typo, or the description a bit misleading in the passive, because here it says base pierce is fixed at 0. Could have been anything. Could have been physical pierce at the start of the battle is fixed to 0. Could have been. Could have been, I don't know, other things. What it is actually is basic attack pierce is fixed at 0. So the 100% basic attack pierce you get from the Evolution subnodes, the Evolution 6 subnodes, is going to be converted into 300% attack increase, which is a lot. So that is a massive node to have, and I definitely prefer it compared to the 100% basic attack pierce, because his basic attacks are nowhere close a relevant portion of his damage. They are pretty much irrelevant. So it is a good change to see. And yeah, it's just misleading. I would like to know if in Korean the description is at least correct, because the translated one is very trash. It's garbage, but it is basic attack pierce. I tested it during the live, and that seemed to be the case. So physical pierce works as normal. There are no changes to that. This only affects basic attack pierce, period. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that, and that's really an important note. So yeah, enough, I would say, for the overview of the unit. We can talk about some pros and cons. The pros are fairly easy, as we already mentioned them, basically. It has spammable AoE energy decrease coming from the passive, really strong. I already closed the passive, but we can open it again. This one, every time he lands a hit, is going to decrease energy by 150. Massive. This is really insane, considering how quickly he attacks. This is really insanity. Then he has very high damage. We will see, it will need some stuff to buff his damage. Is one of the cons that I wrote. But definitely Like the multipliers are there, it's insane. The self attack buff is there, really good. He will need defense decrease on the enemies for sure, and maybe something more. But for now, I would say damage wise, he has the potential. It will just need the team to help a little bit with that. He also has mostly AoE attacks. Actually, his active skills, special move, and even the basic attacks are like are AoE. So that's insane. That's really good value. And for cons, we just have that the durability is not the best because other than a hit barrier that he has here on Revolution, I think it's Revolution 5, he doesn't have anything else other than the fact that he's ranged, so you can kind of place him out of harm's way. And you will need to build a team around the survivability. So he will just need to survive and get some defense decrease, and it will be fine. Literally, it doesn't need a lot more than that, which makes also team building fairly easy. The second con that I already mentioned is that it doesn't have self-sufficient damage buffs. And why is that even a thing, you might ask? Because, I mean, is a DPS, is normal that it needs support to buff his damage. Yeah, but we have a unit called Augustus that has everything he needs in his own kit. Like, I don't know whoever designed Augustus, but giving 100% defense decrease, physical resistance decrease, special move pierce, everything, and like also attack buff, everything on his own kit that is self-sufficient is insane. It's really stupid. This guy doesn't have that, but he has a lot of attack increase, and he increases his own coefficients. So good, but it needs some more. It needs the defense decrease. It has a 50% defense ignore on just one active skill, so that's not enough, I'd say, but it is a good start. And you can run Mago, more on that on the ignition weapon part. That gives a 20% defense ignore to everything. So that's really good. But okay, enough about the cons. If we talk about dupes, I already mentioned zero dupes work really well. The damage is great, the energy decrease is the same as the other dupe levels, but you just need to build a team to keep him alive and to give him, again, that defense decrease. Then he's fine. He can work 360 deficit, no issues at zero dupes, he can carry, which is literally insane value. If you are low on resources because you pulled on Urek, you can just get this guy to zero dupes and you can use him as a 50 PS. It's really insane value. I think the value of this unit at zero dupes as a carry is probably one of the highest I've ever seen. Sure, you will need some support, otherwise it will die. But even at zero dupes, with a zero dupe Sharon, Bam, and a zero dupes Evan, it can survive. I don't see problems with that. So really good value. Make sure that the team is keeping him alive and keeping enemies away from him, and it will be fine. Really, really good. 3 red, as I mentioned, is a minor damage improvement because the scaling of the skills is very limited. Like this one is fixed, that is most of his damage. The 400% in this case, that would be 200% at level 1, is a very minor portion of his damage. Same thing for the special move. They all have the same mechanic that every time you use it, you increase the attack coefficient of the next one. And the attack coefficient that gets increased is fixed. So regardless of whether it's 0 dupes or 3 red, the damage is comparable. It's obviously lower, but it is comparable. So really good. The good thing about 3 red is the access to attack speed subnode. 60 attack speed is pretty good. It's pretty massive. Then for Rainbow 5, here obviously things change a bit. We have extra survivability with the increase in attack, but that's very minor. So the extra survivability is good. Don't mistake it as like Hugo good survivability, because even though you can refresh this barrier easily, if he's 1v5, this does not last a second. This is just for random hits when he's already like away from enemies and they're not hitting him as much, then it does work. If he's in the middle of the enemy team, that at times he likes to teleport in the middle of the enemy team and stay there, then it will explode. This is a really good tool, but is not to be relied on 100%. It will make your life easier building the team. You cannot rely only on that. This is not Yugo, because Yugo has the same 10 durability hit barrier that also lasts 2 seconds less, but she can refresh it a lot more because it's on every skill. This one is only on one of the 2 active skills. And the second thing is that Yugo durability can only decrease when she's hit by her target, not by everyone. So only one enemy at a time can decrease the durability of Yugo shield. For Cha, that's not the case. Everyone can decrease it. So it's gonna be like gone in no time. It is still a nice addition though, so let's make it clear, this is a really good revolution. The other one, which is Revolution 4, just make it sure the special move will land as a crit. Not sure how important that is, because you still want to build crit rate anyway, or play with units that will boost your crit rate. That's maybe not as relevant, other than in floors where you have your crit rate decreased. And in that case, it's really important. And the second thing is that whenever you use the special move, you're going to reset the cooldown of your 2 active skills. So you spam a lot more, and you will refresh the shield very consistently. You will increase the speed at which you stack all of these attack efficient increases that we mentioned. So it is really, really strong. The damage buff on its own is not connected necessarily to these revolutions. Like the active skill reset is nice, but most of the damage increase will come obviously from the basic attack pierce subnode, the crit damage subnode, and the attack percent subnode. So those are going to be really important to boost this damage. Without those, the damage would be comparable to 3 red. A bit better, obviously, a bit quicker at stacking, but that's about it. So yeah, I hope it's clearer now in terms of dupes where you should stop. And yeah, we can move on to the next topic, which is ignition weapons. Here we have really a lot of options. I'm still not sure which one is the best. I'm sure which one will be the best in the future, but not right now. So Barry is a set you can use when it's maxed out. I wouldn't use it when it's not, because it's not really going to help much. But when it's maxed out, he will have that hit barrier, and Barry will kind of guarantee he can get to cast the active skill that will give him the hit barrier. So that's why Barry is good at Rainbow 5, but not that important earlier, I'd say. So that's one set. The other set is the one I'm wearing, which is Mago. Maybe unexpected for some because of how trash that set is. But the set, like on his own, is not bad, is that they never designed a unit that could leverage it. I think Chai is the first one that can use 100% of Mago set and really capitalize on it. Because now let's have a quick look at a piece like this one. Mago is going to give attack increase and critical hit rate increase until the end of the battle. Unfortunately, this is removable. It will not when it's going to get buffed, but that will take probably 4 or 5 months. And when that's going to happen, this is a guaranteed 10% crit rate increase, which is super important for him. And then the set of 4 is massive. Every time you decrease energy on enemies, and if you hit multiple enemies, it counts every time. Like if you hit 5 enemies with Cha, you're going to get 5 stacks immediately. And that's massive. Every stack will give him 10% critical damage increase. That's 50% crit damage. Really a lot. But on top of that, when you are at max stacks, which is going to be all the time, even if they remove it, even if after Mago buff this is not unremovable, it will always have it anyway because of how frequently it can decrease energy of enemies. So on max stacks, it will also ignore the target defense by 20% with every single attack. And as we mentioned before, defense decrease is important. This buff is massive. It really is. It's really good. So what can we say? Damage-wise, Mago is the best option. Will struggle with survivability. Again, obviously you have to pay more attention to team building, but it is likely the best damaging set currently and will definitely be the best in slot when Mago gets the buff. 100%. I already had some good Mago pieces laying around. I put together a set. Maybe we can have a look at the stats if we really want to. We have 90% crit rate, which with the additional 10% gets to 100%. 208 crit damage with the additional 50 is 258. Then we have physical pierce, it's only 93, but it's okay for now. I didn't want to reroll the pieces, so it is what it is. I went for effect resistance lot 4, so he has 327 effect resistance, and affected is just coming from the subnode, from the origin orb, and then 9 from some subnodes somewhere. And that's about it. Then he has 100% basic attack pierce that will be converted into additional attack. And yeah, that's more or less what I'm running. What I probably would recommend if you have the teams to keep him alive, first try it without upgrading it. Like try playing him with any set that is not L and Barry, because those are sets that will improve his survivability. Try anything else. If you see that you can keep your Cha alive, then chances are Mago is going to boost your damage. Talking about L that I just quickly mentioned, is going to boost his survivability for sure. It is viable. The thing is, the attack buff is not going to be as important, and the attack speed buff is also not going to be as important because he already has 60 from the evolution subnodes, and for the first 10 seconds, he has 100. Getting an additional 50 on top might not be as important. It definitely works. It's not that it is useless. Obviously, every stat that L gives him will work and is definitely going to benefit him. Also, the extra survivability from the hit barrier is nice. It's just some of his animations are fairly long. I don't think you can keep up the stacks that reliably, but it is definitely extra survivability. It's not a bad set by any means. It's great. If you already have one, definitely give it to him. It will work. Alocasia is also fine. Similarly to Yugo, they work more or less the same. So it is a good set. I would not build one now. Maybe after the buff, it will become temporarily the best in slot until Mago gets the buff. That's how I expect it to happen. But for now, it's not worth it. I mean, it's better to just go with L that you probably already have some pieces for. And that's it. Doris and Runda can also work, but I just wanted to comment to the fact that it's better if you run those on another unit. Like running Doris on Cha directly doesn't feel that great because it doesn't add up to his survivability. It just gives him a bit more swiftness if you're running on him, like 20 more. Fine, but I don't know. Doesn't feel like reasonable enough, doesn't feel good enough to justify it. So it's better if you just are happy about the 40 additional swiftness and you give Doris to somebody else so that he can get the benefits without having to run Doris. Same thing for Runda. He could kind of keep up Runda effect thanks to the hit barrier. But again, kind of situational. His barrier could still be destroyed. He can spam more special moves with that. But at that point, again, give it to a support on the same line. There is no reason why he should be the one running it. Especially not when he is so, like, when it is so important for him to have some damage buffs. For a unit like Urek, it is fine if you run Runda on him. It's going to benefit anyway. But on a unit like Cha, the downsides are too many. Like the damage loss from running Runda is a bit too much. So definitely go Runda on a support, not on him. Idea could also be a decent set, especially after they buff it, but the utility is just too low at the moment. I would not build it right now. Maybe after the buff, but right now, definitely not. It's just a second quick special move, so for quicker stacks, but nah, no reason. Literally no reason for it. And that's all for the sets that I felt like mentioning. Let me know if you tried something weirder that actually worked. But yeah, for now, Mago, best damaging set. Barry, good for extra survivability when he's Rainbow 5. L, always viable, just doesn't feel as good as the other options, I think. Alocasia, also decent, but let's wait for the buff. And yeah, Doris, Runda, give them to somebody else. That's kind of a quick recap. For the stats, I went slot 4 effect resistance. I'm not 100% sure that's the best way, but I will. While I was using Cha, I just found out that it was permanently stunned by something from the enemies. And I was like, why the hell are you there and not attacking? So I decided to give him effect resistance. The damage loss is basically non-existent because I'm running Mago, and I still focus on crit damage in every single piece. So I still have a lot of crit damage even without the slot 4, which is perfectly fine, I guess. So effect resistance, very much like Hugo, I think is a necessary stat for him. It will get hit by crowd controls all the time, so you definitely want this. Then for slot 5, you go physical pierce. Very, very simple. You could go crit rate if you feel like you're not going to have enough crit rate. Up to you. I think physical pierce is still better, and then you can run every single piece with physical pierce, crit damage, critical hit rate, and you will be fine. You will have enough crit rate, I'm pretty sure. I don't have as many issues because I have crit rate in the 3 essence. That's something I did also for bossing for the most part, because both White and Princess need the crit rate. So I have that. That's why he's already a 90, even though I don't have a lot of rolls. I have this 10%. Then I have this 3.5, this 9.5, and that should be about it. Yes. So I don't have a lot of rolls. I still have 90% plus 10% from the Dupes. It's 100. So I'm happy with this. And yeah, you might need some more. You can definitely get those. And for the subnodes I already mentioned, again, crit rate, crit damage, physical pierce, and effect resistance if you really want and if you have it, but it's not mandatory. For revolution, if we talk about these subnodes, the most important one is always accuracy. If you don't have enough accuracy, you're not hitting anyone. Kind of up to you how much to invest, just enough to hit the enemies. Then you have attack speed, just because it's cheap and it's going to bring you a lot of additional value. Then we have basic attack pierce, because the attack increase you get from this one is absolutely massive. So you definitely want this. Then you go attack or crit damage. Any order is fine, up to you. And that's about it. You can go affect it if you need some, but it's not really necessary. Like, you don't have to go 20 out of 20. You can stop at 10, 15, kind of how much you need to be above the enemy effect resistance, and that's it. You don't need it too much because the energy decrease is not affected by it. Only the swiftness decrease that he has on the exclusive equipment will be affected by it. And I don't think much more, actually. Let me check. If we go maybe in the exclusive equipment, we have the 50 energy decrease, 50 swiftness decrease on the target. That definitely needs the effect hit. And that should be about it, actually. That one doesn't do a thing. That one doesn't do a thing. This one, no. Oh yeah, the airborne effect. So the crowd control and the swiftness decrease will be the only ones affected by affected. So it's not much, it's not important. You can easily avoid maxing it. It is cheap, so it doesn't cost you much to go for it. You might as well do it for the archive. But yeah, it's not necessary. And in terms of expected rank that I will give him in the tier list, I would say at the very least high ranker arrow up, just because he can counter Shia Shia. His damage potential is higher than Augustus, but for that he kind of needs Augustus. So it's kind of not straightforward. I mean, his damage without Augustus can still be higher than Augustus, but you need a lot of other supports to boost his damage. Augustus is a unit on his own that will bring a lot of what Cha needs. It will have the yellow element resistance decrease. It will have the 100% defense decrease. It will have the physical resistance decrease. It will have the grouping. It has a lot of stuff. So obviously, Augustus is one of the best supports for Cha. It's kind of hard to compare them if they're not together. But yeah, Cha will outdamage Augustus most of the times at higher deficits. Lower deficits, maybe Augustus will burst them down before Cha can stack up. But if the fight lasts long enough, Cha's damage will be way above Augustus. That's kind of how it works. But at the very least, this guy will have high ranker are up, I would say. And talking about whether you should pull or not, well, as I wrote here in the post, is yet another DPS unit. If you don't have enough DPS units, is a great pick. Even at 0 dupes, you don't have to max him out to be a DPS, which is insane. And if you are struggling against Shias in hard mode or in normal adventure, then he's a good candidate to pull. He's a really good unit. But you always have to consider, can you afford him? Because you will need around 600 summons to max him out as any new SSR Plus unit. And you have to consider, we will start getting reruns of units around October, November for Chomrei, Gustang, and Urek. So if you missed any of those, you might want to save and make sure you max them. And we also get a new EX unit in January. So those are 4 EX units, depending on how many you already maxed. You kind of have to think of how many resources you will have to save. And this is the first unit after Urek. Is kind of bait, maybe, or maybe they are going to release even more busted SSR Plus units in the near future. So I don't know. The fact that he has value at 0 dupes makes me recommend to just stick to 0 dupes and don't max him out unless you really know you have enough resources to afford him. So I'd rather do that than max him out, especially for free to play. So it will have some uses at 0 dupes, which means to me he's a skippable unit. Let's say it like that. So yeah, that's about all, guys, for the first impression. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this guy, if you agree or disagree with some points. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.